My name is Natasha.
I am based in Fredericton, New Brunswick.
I moved here 17 years ago. I came as a dependent spouse. I was not working, allowed to work for 3 years. I did not know volunteering was something that was so valid and that was something that you could really do to enhance your skills, because that was not the way it was for my home country. I had already been very marginalized and felt very excluded in the city, so I basically went straight for the immigration sector and the domestic violence sector, because to me those were safe spaces. So I started volunteering there. I found it very therapeutic and very rewarding at the same time. The DV sector was literally the first place in Fredericton that I felt safe from any backlash from any community, but also a place where I felt there was understanding and no judgment. I thought the immigrant space was going to be a safe space, and I actually got into it through my work in the domestic violence sector, which is where I met a group of immigrant women who seemingly were equally interested in supporting immigrant women who move to Canada, don't have networks, don't have resources, don't know the laws, and basically are floundering. As time went by, we started getting attention. We started losing a lot of very motivated women who just disappeared. In the end, it was myself and this woman who was Black, and it was literally just the two of us trying to do cross-cultural education, trying to do support groups. Then they said, stop bringing up Muslim problems, because I'm talking about street harassment, and I'm talking about my children being excluded in schools and being told they should go play with other Arab kids. When I would bring this up, they said, these are Muslim problems, these are not immigrant problems. I did not expect to encounter basically anti-Muslim bias on this board of immigrant women, which is basically set up with a specific mandate of empowering immigrant women and their families. And they somehow decided to exclude this one particular group, and it was a rude awakening for me. For the Muslim community, we are so divided. There's a lot of division, and there's a lot of competition over who's a better Muslim and whether you're authorized to speak on behalf of Muslims. And all of this serves to split us up. We are in a space where we should be respecting each other's choices. And instead of focusing on how each one of us practices, we should realize that we are all, when it comes down to it, at some level, we are all going to be discriminated against because of our perceived religious identity. And this is the time where we need to put all that aside, and we need to say, we need to deal with this absolutely unacceptable bias. Our children are being discriminated against. We're not getting health services. We're not getting emergency services. This is a big problem. Instead of, fighting with each other for, please let me be the favorite minority today, we need to stop all that and focus on how we can uplift each other, because nobody should be competing on who the favorite minority is. Everybody should be treated the same. I would ask people to open their eyes as much as possible and try to get involved. And I don't want to just say get involved, because it's a very broad statement, but reach out to people and ask them what's happening, because it's not okay that people should be terrified and intimidated living in your communities and nobody knows what's happening or doesn't want to ask. We've already seen other communities being destroyed. We've seen what's been done with First Nations. We've seen what's been done with the Black community, and it just goes on, and it's like they're just moving targets. And I think if you are sincere, you have to stand up and you have to get involved. Nobody's saying make a speech in public or go do a protest outside City Hall if you're not comfortable with that, but just reach out to one person. It can make a big difference. That would be my ask.